All meetings order. 7:03 p.m. Start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
For all.
Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr,
Here.
Alderman Roll. Alderman Johnson. Alderman Montoya.
Here.
Alderman Rita.
Here.
Alderman Fairwell.
Here.
Alderman McGee. Court President, Your Honor.
All right. Run the meeting unless there's, we don't clear people running late. We can approve anything that's not crossing the city, so we can go right through the minutes. Need a motion to approve the city council minutes from July 9th, 2024. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Fairwell, second by Alderman Rita. Questions? Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
4 ayes, Your Honor.
Carries. Next, we have a motion to approve the city council minutes from July 13th, 2024. The committee of the whole meeting. Is there a motion? Alderman Montoya, second by Alderman Carr on the question. Fairwell.
Just one minor correction on the first page under public comment. It says Mr. Stock thanks the mayor. It should be Mr. actually John Staub, S-T-A-U-B.
You have anything else? Not clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
4 ayes, Your Honor.
Alderman McGee is up. Part C, motion to approve the city council minutes from July 11th, 2024. Committee of the whole meeting. Is there a motion? Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Carr on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
5 ayes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I was correcting these minutes, so I left.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thank you, thanks.
All right, next we have public comment. Is there any public comment? Public comment?
My name is Dr. Herschel. Doing a little research on the TIF. And I would just like to know why the TIF has increased my property tax. The TIF increased over 400% on my home alone from $900 to close to $5,000. And that's just for the TIF. To develop commercial property that once a Chrysler dealership sat on. I feel that this is an overtaxation of your citizens. This will increase my mortgage by close to $500 a month because it's unfair. Why are we having to pay the cost to develop what was once commercial property? Why was that property not given to a developer to develop for the community? So when I look at this TIF, how fair is it? I've been in this community for over 20 years. And now you increase my mortgage when I'm almost done? By almost $500. I have 3 children in college. It is unfair and something needs to be done. I don't know where this is going. I did some math. I counted, I think I saw 84 households in Blue Island. If I just take my TIF as a baseline, that's over $32 million a year. I looked on our internet, I looked on the website for the TIF because I wanted details. I want to know the life of the TIF. I want to know what all is going to be developed. It is unfair to the residents of Blue Island to pay the cost to redevelop this land behind Thornton. It is unfair. I am very displeased. I am displeased to the point where I'm going to be at every city council meeting now because I want to know what's going on. Wasn't Cook County. Everybody's complaining about Cook County taxes. It's not Cook County. It is the village in which I reside in. I would rather sell my home and move to Homewood than live in Blue Island and pay these types of taxes. I was raised in Rise. I was raised in a poor home. I managed to get myself through school. I managed to earn a doctorate degree. I have 5 children and 3 are in college. And now I'm being forced to pay overtaxation? It is not fair, Your Honor. It is not fair, trust me. It is not fair. I was hoping that maybe the decimal was in the wrong place, but I was sadly mistaken. I'm very disappointed in the people that we have elected, that you have chosen to put this tax burden on the residents of Blue Island.
Any other public comments?
I had the opportunity to look over the proposal that changes some of the rules for churches and other nonprofits in the city of Blue Island. You got it on your agenda for voting today. And it's not been shared with the public. There's been no discussion on this. There's some very serious problems. First off, legally speaking, it's very, very sloppy. That there are so many pitfalls, so many open problems and interpretation that it's just badly crafted. Number two, it's bad public policy. This was a reaction to the shooting that occurred outside of a church a few weeks ago. Well, the shooting didn't involve any of the members of that church or any other church or any nonprofit in Blue Island. To craft your solution to a problem by putting extra burdens on people that weren't even responsible for the original problem is ridiculous. And number three, it's blatantly unconstitutional. The First Amendment prohibits any government entity from making rules that inhibit the free exercise of a religion. These proposals that you have would require churches and nonprofits to get business licenses, would require them to get liquor licenses, would require them to submit safety, security plans to the city on an annual basis. It would require the churches and nonprofits to endure extra building, parking, and other city requirements and ordinances for inspections. And and they would also require them the burden of hiring armed, licensed, bonded security officers for their public events. By their very nature, nonprofits and churches supply goods and services not only to their own members, but also to members of the community at large. It is ridiculous for the city to think that a church or a nonprofit has an clear idea in advance of the number of people coming to their event. But this proposal would require churches and nonprofits to basically submit attendance records to the city of Blue Island so that and to the police department, so that the clerk and the police chief can determine whether they have enough parking, whether they have enough occupancy, whether they need to hire security guards, whether their security annual security plan for the building is up to code. You know, this is with so many problems. It's ridiculous. It's unconstitutional. It's sloppy law, and it's just bad public policy. This whole idea needs to be scrapped.
Other public comment?
All right, good evening. This is Ali Clements. Good evening, Mayor, and also City Council. Sir, for that information that you had, if there's something in writing so I can follow what you were talking about and have a better understanding,
Sure.
I'd appreciate it if you share that, okay? All right, also, I'd like to say, for Mission Covenant Church, we participated in the Blue Island Community Yard Sale, and we found it to be very enjoyable. We had a number of people coming by, and we even shared some space with our neighbor next door, Miss Rosa. And then we had a back to school event, a neighborhood block party for the children in the area. And that was very well attended from our community and also the church that is given a space downstairs in Mission Covenant. They had participants as well. Only thing we were missing was an ongoing person that would be an interpreter for the Spanish language that was being used. So that's something I've had to look into. And a national night out last week was fantastic. We had, who had, I call him Danny Dinosaur was there. He's going back to school. So that was our focus, with children being prepared to go back to school with different activities to participate in, being able to follow instructions and then getting their very own dinosaur mask. So, and even the parents are very excited about that. So I'd like to continue on with Mission Covenant and its involvement in doing our own personal types of activities, but also becoming more involved in the activities provided by the city. I'm really very appreciative of any number of things that you've done and for our connection to become closer. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mayor, everybody. This is my first City of Blue Island,
Nailed to your church.
city meeting as a Marine Corps veteran. For those who remember me, I did news in Chicago for multiple years. And so just to understand, currently, I'm not here as an award-winning investigative journalist. I'm here as a Marine Corps veteran. For the record, Pastor, like Reverend Doyle, D-O-Y-L-E. If you don't mind looking at the rules. Okay, 4 minutes. So if someone could let me know when I have 2 minutes, I need to split this up into 2 matters. Walgreens pharmacies are necessary for senior citizens who need prescriptions for various reasons, including mental health. If I'm of a certain age and my retirement does not allow for me to pay for property taxes, this is 12 days past the deadline. And the anxiety for senior citizens is through the roof. I would know that. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. That's why I left the news business years ago. So the headline for Crane Chicago Business, can Walgreens be saved? Many individuals in the Blue Island side and the Chicago side watched an ATM robbery at 119th and Western within the last 2 weeks. That's why it's boarded up. Just in the means of individuals looking the other way, senior citizens are afraid to go to a Walgreens pharmacy because 90% of the business for Walgreens is pharmaceutical. Crane's lead story for July 15th. I bring that up because our senior citizens, particularly our greatest generation, have made the greatest sacrifices. And we are letting them down on so many different fronts. So it's my sincerest hope that the leadership here works with the 19th Ward in terms of Alderman Matthew O'Shea, because he's doing his best on the Chicago side. But you have a drug house on the Blue Island side of 119th Street that the addicts utilize. And then come, do you have $1? Do you have $5? All throughout Western. So, issue number 1. Issue number 2, as United States Marine Corps veteran, I'm asking, I have documentation, that your library board be replaced immediately. For your clerk. Okay, so this would be an email. Sure. Okay, sorry. So that would be, sorry. So, excuse me, one more thing. So that would be an email from the business manager to the executive director about how a FOIA is originally done. Because the mayor, by your laws, appoints your board, I was roundly disrespected as a guest on the record on June 26th. The Marine and me, born and raised Beverly, my family integrated Beverly in the late 60s. So we heard the N word a lot, but my father and mother were married for close to 50 years, and we worked for a living. So we weren't running for being working taxpayers. Meanwhile, on June 26th, as a guest of the board, I was roundly disrespected. I'm asking the leadership to listen to the audio because I asked a question twice as a pastor. Is this the way things are normally done? And I was laughed at as a Marine Corps veteran, yes, like I couldn't do anything about it. So with due respect to your leadership, because again, I watched Blue Island change from a race perspective, from prejudicial to acceptance. I've watched it, I'm 54. The Marine and me on the 4th of July as a 19th Ward Marine. I'm a 19th Ward Marine. you almost had a full-fledged protest on 4th of July. Because I was disrespected, it's on the record, I'm asking that you listen to the June 26th board meeting. Because I was there on behalf of senior citizens and fellow veterans as it relates to mental health. So the reason why I'm asking for the board to be replaced, the governor and the Secretary of State at the Bud Billiken Parade this past Saturday on the south side of Chicago, they promised me first as a veteran, second as a taxpayer, third as a child of God, that I would wait on any protests until tonight. 4, the Democratic National Convention starts on Monday. For my fellow colleagues I was in the business with 30 years ago, including the current president of CBS 2 Chicago, we started out as cub reporters in the Quad Cities. And by the way, I'm a Hawkeye. So I watched Caitlin Clark grow up from 6th grade on. Need to say that because I'm a Hawkeye. So with that being said, as I close, I thank you very much for the extension of time because as an award-winning journalist who used to do news, I know I'm past 4 minutes. But on the 26th, when I went in defense of Blue Island senior citizens and Blue Island veterans, in terms of the library, I'm asking that you listen to the audio in full, how I was treated as a United States Marine Corps veteran, how I withheld a full-scale Marine Corps protest on the 4th of July and waited until now because the next board meeting is for the library is Wednesday. So I'm asking the leadership to respect us as Marines, listen to the tape and replace the entire board because I earned it and I didn't deserve that as a guest on June 26th at the Blue Island Public Library. Any questions? Because this is my first and hopefully only meeting. I didn't want to hear afterwards, hey, Pastor, you could have come and talked about it. Well, this is the conversation on the record. So you have until next Wednesday to listen to the audio. Your clerk now has the email on how a FOIA can be done to listen to the audio, and anyone in the audience can listen to the audio. Because again, I was that angry where you would have had a multi-thousand protest on the 4th of July out of nowhere. We Marines lead from the front and will not be disrespected. Especially it is our blood and sweat and tears that defend the very freedoms that were thrown in my face on June 26th. So again, I ask, are there any questions? Because my request is simple. Thank the board for their service and remove every single last one of them because no one defended and I was a guest. Final question, any questions? Because my next protest won't be delayed. Monday starts the Democratic National Convention and I promised Governor Pritzker and Secretary of State that I would at least come to my first board meeting for Blue Island and continue to be in defense of senior citizens who are under undue stress, property taxes, as well as fellow veterans, regardless of the 5 branches who can't get $1 and watch others who just got here get everything. God bless.
Alderman Johnson is coming to you. Public comment. Moving on to new business, we have proclamation of Constitution Week, September 17th, 2024 to September 23rd, 2024. Whereas it is a privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate September 17th, 2024 as the 237th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States, America, appropriate ceremonies, articles, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designates September 17th through September 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, I, Mayor, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of the State of Blue Island, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through September 23rd as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution, reflecting the privilege of being an American citizen with all the rights and responsibilities which a privilege involves. Witness thereof, we have a motion to put this into the record. Alderman Rivas and Alderman Fairwell on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll, oh, sorry, Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
6, Your Honor.
Carries. And we're under mayor's work of the motions. We did our meeting last, doubling up here. So we had a motion for approval of payroll for July 15, 2024, in the amount of $463,639.36. Motion. Alderman Rita, second by Alderman McGee on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor. Carries.
Under B, we have a motion for approval of payroll August 2nd, 2024, in the amount of $437,265.72. Is there a motion? Alderman Carr, second by Alderman Fairwell on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Carries. I received a motion for retroactive approval of accounts payable dated July 24, 2024, $1,347,678.49.
Is your mic on, Mr. Mayor?
Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Rita. Any question? Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Under E, we have a motion for approval of accounts payable dated August 14, 2024, in the amount of $1,613,44.82. Is there a motion? Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Rita on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Carries. Under E, we have an ordinance for the city of Blue Island, County, Illinois, amending chapter 110, general licensing provisions of the city of Blue Island Code of Ordinances. I know this was discussed in committee of the whole. I just want to clarify some misconceptions. I talked to a reverend before the meeting. This does not affect any religious services or masses of any type. It's only for profit banquet halls of X number of people involved, which is supposed to be discussed tonight. We discussed. Doesn't affect any general services or religious services of any kind. It's stated that clearly in the ordinance. It's only for profit banquet halls. So the reverend that called me has no banquet hall, just the church. It wouldn't affect him regarding the rentals, the fees, or any of that. I just want to correct any misconception that was put out there. As we discussed in the whole, it's for-profit rentals of a banquet facility attached to a nonprofit organization. Now that I said that and clarified it again, we need a motion and second, and we can have a debate on it, questions, comments. So, is there a motion? Alderman McGee, second Alderman Fairwell, on the question.
Okay, so I did notice the X's.
We were going to talk about that.
Yeah, we need, we can't,
That was the only thing that hung up. We didn't know the number.
yeah, it can't be voted as, I mean, I'm a firm believer of separation of church and state. So, as you said, you know, this doesn't affect, but it's a fine line to walk. You know, with respect, a wedding is a religious ceremony. So, we have to be mindful of that. So, that being said, I think that this actually needs to be, reworked. Needs to be reworked a little bit. So we motion to table it for now, and then, is there a rush for this ordinance?
No rush. I just wanted to clarify, there's the number that we can put in there. But we discussed this in committee of the whole. I just don't want to table anything just because misinformation is put out there.
No, yeah.
So we can read through it. We only a paragraph.
Do we have the dates, or I mean,
The number was
We were in between 50 and 100, I believe at the committee of the whole, but I didn't get a firm number, which is why I didn't put it in there. But just to use some of your examples, like a wedding. would be-
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
A wedding would be,
one more comment from the audience, otherwise will be removed. Second round first for tonight's meeting.
a wedding is generally, when you have a wedding at a church, you're a member of the congregation. So So this ordinance would not apply whatsoever to any members of the congregation, at all. This is for churches that rent a hall to people outside their congregation or membership or profit. So similar to the Salvation Army incident, who does have a banquet hall rental for members outside their congregation. This is when that ordinance would apply. And the ordinance solely requires, and does not charge a fee to nonprofits, solely requires a registration. So we have a contact information. And then certain things, if they're gonna sell alcohol, they need a license. Things like that. So it's nonprofits engaging in for-profit activity with people outside their membership. That's what this ordinance relates to. So there's definitely misunderstandings out there regarding what it is.
Just to clarify the liquor license, for example, my first $10, St. Donatus, St. Benedict's. Liquor license, by law, the state of Illinois law, means you have to provide these things. We have nothing in our ordinances to ask for the same thing. The state of Illinois does already. It's just for safety and insurance. Just want to clarify that again, all the fair.
Yeah, I read the ordinance, and I think that generally speaking, it's reasonable, and we discussed it in committee of the whole, and I do agree with the intent. Wait, I did have a discussion with a constituent today, and she had passed along some concerns for a pastor, which I answered, and I think they understand now better what we're trying to do here. And Aaron, could you just state so we understand, a church does not have to go get a license as a matter of course. Is that correct? If they want a license to hold an event, then they have to get a license. Is that right?
Yeah.
And if they're not going to do anything that's prohibited,
If
they don't
they're
need their
not-
license.
Yeah, if they're not running a for-profit banquet hall or rental
Right.
facility, this application would not be applicable.
Right.
So it says application for banquet hall rental business license.
I would like to suggest, maybe perhaps just for, I don't know if it's necessary, but I think it might be helpful to those who are not familiar with the ordinance, if we could add some kind of a statement that it seems obvious when you read it, but that this does not restrict any regular religious activities. It might be helpful just to have it in there so that it's clear that that's our intent.
There it is. The intent, so we can.
Yeah, I mean,
Very obvious.
it's in there if you read
All
it,
been
but
read
it's
it
not
on the
stated.
I'll read it on.
Okay, so just to reiterate, if a church does not have a rental hall, they're not involved with this at all. It does not apply to them, correct?
Correct.
And if I am a member, say, of St. John's Church, and I want to have a built out their base, then they would have to do it, even though I'm a member. No.
But if they
Just
also
wanna make
get
sure.
involved, you have to by state have a license, which we're not enforcing because we have nothing in the books.
Okay.
So, yes, yes.
So I understand about the alcohol, for sure, I think that's definitely, should be, put into our code. As well as zoning, obviously, all buildings should fall, meet zoning, regulations. However, the application the fee is waived, correct?
Yeah, there's no fee for a nonprofit. And the way the nonprofit is defined within this ordinance, and this ordinance only relates to business licensing. So nonprofit is defined as a legal entity incorporated to operate for purposes other than making a profit. For example, charitable, educational, fraternal, or religious establishments that allow the use of their space by individuals outside of their congregation or membership. So that's how it's defined. So that's the only type of nonprofit establishment that would require some type of licensure under this ordinance.
But it would be, at no cost to them, correct?
At no cost, yeah,
Okay.
right.
All read.
What about the liquor?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
You already started.
And would that also apply to the, liquor? That the fee would be waived, or no, they would have to file for a liquor
We should
license?
have a nonprofit cost for liquor license.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the liquor.
I think it's like 25 cents or something. St. Donatus, paid.
I have to look at the code.
It's not $1,000, it's not,
Okay,
that's in our liquor ordinance, non-profit liquor.
I couldn't remember.
So, just hypothetically speaking, if it was a funeral per se, which it should be a religious, occasion, and is it up to the church to do the venting as far as finding out their member was an ex-gang member or whatever, something adverse happened? That blowback will come back to the city, right, or to the church
It's
or
not,
that.
that's, if it's a member, it's a member, we're not getting that too intrusive, that's the point Paul, he was saying, it was very generic and over, like, umbrella.
Right.
We're not specifying any process of vetting, right?
Okay. So the blowback still be
The
not on the city.
the organization.
Okay.
if it's a member. Or if they're hosting non-members, that's when they would need this license.
Okay. Thank you.
And again, this person or this constituent brought this up to me, so I just want to ask it. I've heard the ask, so we can answer it. Many religions, Catholic in particular, the money involved in the service is not covered.
No.
That's what you're saying.
Thank you.
One more thing, I didn't see anything punitive, they don't. Is there any?
Violations.
Well, in the business license code itself, like you read the full code, yes, there are repercussions for not having a license when you're required to.
Same repercussions for if a bar did something wrong or, you know, it falls under, we're not changing that. Any other questions?
So we have to settle the number.
Yeah, I think the attorney threw out 50. Anywhere in the ballpark, it still has to abide by fire code and everything else. That's unsaid. That's just legality.
The number is solely to be able to alert the cities in case non-member rentals
Okay.
will be a large number in case they need any extra city services, just like a special event permit or something would do. So I don't know what number you guys want. I just threw 50 out there.
Well, I guess 50, to me, I think 50 sounds reasonable. It is men, they decide.
Anything's okay.
Good, yeah. So I'll add 50 in and then the statement that this isn't restricting regular religious activities.
Thank you.
So then, as amended, at the end.
Any other questions? Or please do the roll call. As amended.
Alderman Carr,
I,
Alderman Johnson,
I have amended.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
I,
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee,
No.
6-5.
Carries. For F, we have a resolution for the city of Blue Island, Illinois, to authorize and approve a deed of lieu of foreclosure and settlement agreement in relation to 2056 139th Street. Motion. Alderman Rita, is there a second? Alderman Fairwell, on the question?
Alderman Carr,
I,
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
I,
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
G, this is the vacant lot that was formerly occupied by Stop. This is a resolution authorizing the city to put it out for bid. 12801 Lincoln. Start motion. Alderman Rita, second Alderman Johnson on the question. Alderman,
and this is just to sell
just so it's a
Sell it,
back
right.
bidder for proving a bidder, all that. All right, clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Carr,
it. I,
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
I,
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Carries. I should have said this at the beginning, and I didn't get my reminder cue. Alderman Fairwell. Public comment, just so everybody knows, is just public comments. I'd like to answer your questions. We do not, it's not part of our policy, it's just public comment, just like most board meetings. But if you have any questions, want to discuss things further, by any means, get in touch with me, your older person, city staff, and we can address them. Just on the gentleman that mentioned the tip hasn't even started yet. Your tax year is always 1 year behind. Everybody in Cook County did some kind of increase. Blue Island as a whole, not just the 84 houses, were raised 36%. We had a whole article in the paper between me and Alderman Johnson discussing this. It's unfortunate, but TIF does not raise taxes. It hasn't even gone effective. It's effective next year. So I have nothing to do with this current process. I do want to talk to the gentleman and get more feedback. Is there anything we can do as a city to protest the increase? I want to get him involved in that process. Moving on to the clerk's announcements.
The Blue Island Fire Department, local 3547, they're having a golf outing on Friday at the Meadows. This is your last chance to take part in some way. Contact your Chief Haywood or the Blue Island Fire Department. The annual health fair is coming up September 28th. We need some changes to it. We're going to have it at the Blue Island Air Company now. Day of the Dead is November 2nd. We made some few changes. We are working with District 218. And we moved the location down the street. This Friday is the second to last TGIF, and El Cortez will be the restaurant. Saturday is Rough Around Blue Island, Rough Around the Island. It's a fundraiser at the Rock Island Public House to support the stray dog. Blue Island. I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, what date is,
Pardon me?
what date is that?
Saturday,
The wrong,
Rough Around Blue Island at Rock Island Public House.
Saturday.
Thank you, City Clerk. City Treasurer lost his father yesterday morning. 73 years old, pneumonia. So he cannot take this. Big service is going to be there tonight. We need a motion to approve July's Treasury report. Alderman Montoya, Alderman Fairwell, on the question. Clerk, please do the roll call.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Six ayes, Your Honor.
Carries. City Attorney, give executive.
Yes.
City Administration.
Live good night. So real quick, just want to say a very genuine thank you to our staff, specifically our police, fire, public works, and the clerk's office for the effort that went into National Night Out. It was a very good night. We've had a string of very good national nights out. We've had a string of some good weather for our national nights out. I know I saw several other people out there meeting with the community. We had over 1,000 people, ran out of food. Everyone who had all their giveaways, ran out all their giveaways by 8:30. So I think next year we might trim it down a little bit on the time because we can't bring enough pizza for these folks. But it's a really good community event, one of the better community outreaches that we do. And I think maybe because we're here all the time, in the days after that, we get a lot of positive comments from parents, especially in the immediate area of City Hall. So thank you to all of our staff. A lot of work goes into it from the police, fire, and public works standpoint to get that thing, and clerk's office, to get that thing up and running. So appreciate that. This morning met myself, Mike Shorter, the public works attendant, supervisor, and his team. We met with Build Up Cook about a month or two ago. This council voted to approve the Build Up Cook program. So we're getting about $500,000 from Cook County. That money is going to go into a couple different projects. One of them is right above your head. We're going to be putting some money into this roof to stop some of the water damage and seal off and secure this roof for the next 20 years. We also have this getting a little antiquated ADA ramp out here. So we're going to try to work on that, hopefully in conjunction with repaving this alley out here. And then there's a chlorine pump as part of our overall water system, how we treat the water we get in from Chicago. That is, we're hoping there's going to be enough money left over to pay for, or at least cut down some of those costs. But it's a very good investment we're getting from Cook County, and we're trying to make the most out of it. So there'll be more to come on that. Tomorrow, we just put a post on Facebook right before this meeting. Tomorrow night from 8 p.m. to midnight, Cook County mosquito abatement is going to be spraying for mosquitoes. West Nile is starting to creep up in public health numbers again. So we are putting out some information, just encouraging folks, your home and business owners, if you have obvious standing water in your backyards, your front yards, to realistically do what's practical, what you can to try to eliminate that standing water, to eliminate spots for mosquito nests. They're going to be spraying, mostly focused on, public areas anyways where there's large standing water. We did get a few questions, and they're not going to be going into people's backyards or anything like that between 8 and midnight. And that's going to be mainly the trucks on the street spraying outwards. And then lastly, Alderman Rita, Alderman Roll, and myself recently met with with Civic Plus, who is the contractor who is designing our new website. We're getting some of the
early outlining formats of that. Right now, we're doing a lot of eliminating dead space, things that are on our current website that don't need to be migrated over. The one thing I do want to put on your radar, I'm open to whatever want to do this, but it would be easiest to try to get this done maybe on a meeting night or one day. But if we're gonna do a new webpage, it's time for headshots. So everyone's got to dress up and look nice, and that's gonna be staff and everybody else too. So we're hoping for this to be a very good modern visual website, which includes when you go to your alderman, your city staff, the mayor, the city administrator, you guys, that there's a little bit of information, including an updated book. So would like to schedule that. So gonna try to hopefully get one meeting in September or October where everybody's here. So we get a photographer here, and then the hope or the goal or the schedule we're on right now is for a new website launch in November. Obviously, you'll see prototypes of that before it comes. That's all I have unless anyone has any.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman announcements, reports, or comments? Alderman Fairwell?
I agree with Mr. Wogan that the National Night Out was a great event and it was a tremendous all-city effort. So I don't want to, in saying this, demean or diminish what any particular department has done, but I do want to thank Chief Farr because this is sort of something he's led and helped it grow, and really appreciate your effort and the other efforts of everybody else around you who makes it happen. It's a good event. Thank you.
Either Alderman? Now we need a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Alderman Johnson, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Johnson, second by Alderman Fairwell, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
To discuss imminent probable litigation. Executive session. We need a motion to adjourn. Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman McGee, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.